Dear Dairy. Of course, it's Sunday. It's apparently Super Bowl Sunday or something. Some such. Super Bowl Sunday or some such. For a little bit of alliteration for those of you what needs it. Just got back from a Super Bowl party at a friend's house. And they had a Kickstarter. Well, they were part of a Kickstarter for a card game called Room Party, which is currently very lots of there. That's better. Now you can read it. So Room Party, and so obviously they made their Kickstarter goal, and then they passed it. So much so that they made an expansion deck, and eventually they made the Further Confusion expansion deck, so that you have, because it's a furry convention, which I actually got 2 copies of the game and everything. So I gave the other one to my housemates because they love playing card games. I'll probably keep these sealed for the day when they're worth hundreds of yen, and I can sell them and possibly buy a cotton ball. The other thing it came with was a bunch of +1 awesome stickers. Wasn't sure if they were stickers. I had to check. Stickers, and also a bunch of +1 awesome shot glasses. Very cool. Yeah. So yeah, lots of fun, good stuff with that. And it was, the game was, I didn't give a damn about the game. I didn't go over there for the Super Bowl at all. That's why I didn't even head over there until after the game had already started, because I didn't care. The only thing about the Super Bowl that I like is there's quite a few very hot guys in incredibly tight pants. And on occasion they have, some really funny commercials, but I didn't really see many of the commercials. I was kind of hungry when I went over there, and they had sort of it wasn't clam chowder because it used salmon instead of clam meat, which was very tasty. Ate a lot of that, and too much of that. And then they had a white chili that was made with chicken, I think, which was also very tasty. But yeah, it was, and a bunch of chips, and so I'm going to open this now, and it will probably be very loud through the thing, so I apologize for that. If you're listening on headphones with the volume all the way up, you may wish to mute it for just a moment. Okay? I'm going to give you a 3 count. 3, 2, 1. Okay, now you can, yeah. So I had what I thought was a Coke Zero earlier. To be fair, I almost never drink sodas. So they're like battery acid when I first taste them. They're like super saccharine sweet, and just, I don't even know why I grabbed this, honestly. I think it's probably because I bought the 12-pack, and that's probably why I grabbed one as I left, so I could have one of them. But our host only drinks Coke Zero, so I bought those mainly for him, because the last time I went, I brought some beer, and he doesn't drink beer. So last time I brought something for everybody else. This time I brought something for him. So I took one for me on the way out. Anyway, I had asked while we were there. I was talking to a buddy of mine about. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go get a drink. Do you want anything?" I said, "Yes, grab me a Coke Zero, please." Well, he came back. I was talking about one of these, just regular plain old Coke Zero, but he came back with Coke Zero Vanilla, which is fine if that's the flavor you're expecting. If it is not the flavor you're expecting, it's a bit harsh. I took a sip of it, and I was like, what in the hell is this? And I looked, and even though I looked right at the label, I didn't see the word vanilla on it. I don't know why. It just didn't register to me. And I was like, well, it's Coke Zero. You know, what the hell? It's just, I don't understand why it's so just horribly, horribly sweet. And then, like, 5 minutes later, I glanced back down, and then I saw the vanilla. I was like, oh, it's Coke Zero Vanilla. Okay, that's why it's so cloying. Ugh. So then I just had a big glass of water to get the taste of it out of my mouth. And now I'm having a regular one, which is still too sweet for me, but I need the caffeine, honestly, for right now. Because I'm very, very sleepy. I did not sleep well at all last night, which I didn't mean to sleep last night. I meant to take a nap today and didn't. And then by the time I was going to take a nap, it was too late and it was time for me to go over to their place. So every cell in my body is like, okay, time to lay down now. And I'm like, no, not yet. I've got 3 episodes I have to record because it's Sunday. Got Motivational Monday right after this, TMI Tuesday after that. And I've got to get all 3 of these recorded and edited and uploaded before I can lay down. So this friend of mine that I was talking to who went off and grabbed me a vanilla Coke Zero. One of the things we were talking about was how, he doesn't always get the motivational push that he needs. Now, apparently, he's been watching Motivational Monday, and that has inspired him to resume working on a script that he and I were doing for an animation that hasn't been made yet. But we recorded the audio. This was like 2 years ago. We recorded the audio. In fact, it was 2 years ago tonight at the Super Bowl party 2 years ago at our friend's place was when we recorded it. And I have a copy of it, but since the animation's not done, I can't really play it for you. Anyway, it's sort of a spy. It's a joke spy thing, because it is a spy story, kind of like James Bond, but a little bit more gay and furry and kind of what the hell. It's this guy named Pierce Jaguar. He's sort of the Bond character, and his arch nemesis Vex Lupus, which, as you might suspect, was the one that I was playing, who's this big evil, what was it? Capitalist doctors with lunar facilities. Anyway, so he wanted to, having watched Motivational Monday, it's kind of spurred him into, working on more of the script and thinking about doing a sequel to it and everything. And I decided, after I said my goodbyes to him and I was heading home, I decided that I'm going to call him out right now. Right now. Now? Or do I make that Motivational Monday? Because that's more like, lay the blame on Thick Tuesday, or if we had a day that started with an L. Yeah. No, I'll do it now. So I want everybody to go over to Steve Flavin. And I will put a link in the description below. SteveFlavin.com. He used to do a series called For My Entertainment, where he did like movie reviews and concerts and plays and stuff like that. It was really, really good. It was a lot of fun. It was very funny, and not to mention the fact that he is just adorable. Anyway, so he's kind of fallen out of the habit of doing it. What I want all of you to go over and start watching his stuff and just poke him and pester him and drive him, make him do it, make him start doing it again, because it's awesome. He does it very well. So that's not quite, it is motivational, but that would be manipulational Monday, and I'm not going to do that. We could make it subservient Sunday, but he would have to acquiesce to our demands. Anyway, so yeah, go check him out, SteveFlavin.com, or just Steve Flavin on YouTube. Both work. He's also a really good cinematographer. And I mean, just check out his stuff. You'll see how good he is. Let's see. I don't really have much else to talk about. I had they had the Puppy Ball. The Puppy Ball is always much more worth it than the Super Bowl ever is. Because just, I mean, SportsBall, nobody gets a fun. Well, I mean, there are plenty of people who really, dig football and whatnot. I'm not one of those people. And, which is why it's always funny to go over to this party, because almost everybody who's there is, big football fans. And one of the hosts was a big fan of the Broncos, which, from what little I really recognize of the thing, they were not winning at all. In fact, I believe they were having their asses handed to them. Anyway, so I will let you guys go, and I will talk to you tomorrow for Motivational Monday, which will be something other than, telling you guys to go and poke Mr. Flavin and get him to do our bidding. I was bordering on Vex Lupus's voice. Vex has a very deep voice. I assure you, Mr. Jaguar, these days I am merely a businessman. Base on the moon? A hotel on the moon, excuse me. Anyway, I will talk to you guys tomorrow, okay? Be careless.